Hello and welcome to this week's edition of The Olive Tree with me, Julia Fisher. This week we're back in Jerusalem where my guest is Katerina, a Swiss-German Christian living in a community that works amongst Palestinian Muslim people. Here Katerina describes her experience of getting to know and like people from another culture who speak a different language. I asked her what drew her to Israel.
Well, I grew up with believing parents, and I started to love God very early, but then I was more interested or calling to the community, and the community was led to Israel. So I had a heart for Israel, but my calling was especially to the community. And when I heard that it will be Israel for me, then I was happy. But I was more happy, I had more a heart for the Jewish people than for the Arab people. The Arab people, they were very far for me.
So you came here not quite knowing how it was going to work out and what you were going to be doing. Tell me about those early days. It must have been quite an adventure.
Yes, it was an adventure because I lived in a Muslim quarter. I heard first time the muezzin right close to my ears, and I'd had the impression that demons are like around me all the time, and it was frightening. People are staring at you, and also we had to wear like a scarf in the beginning, in the quarter. In the old city and around not, but when we came in the quarter, and it was very strange. People started to ask, are you a Muslim? Do you want to become a Muslim? And we had to explain why we are wearing that, to adjust, but that we don't want to become a Muslim. But it was like Hans said, it was like learning by doing. I didn't had, experience with Muslims or so.
So you had to learn the language, you had to understand the culture,
Yeah.
You were working with other people as well, so you had to think of ways that you could reach into their community and become friends with them. How did you do it?
Yeah, like learning by doing. I made many mistakes, like I didn't realize how strong that Islam is here, so I was like a knife in the beginning. I just cut it right into the problem till I understood that God want to spread his smell and not to discuss. And I knew that we shouldn't discuss, but I was easily, came into discussions with them and what is right, what is wrong. So, and then a relationship broke. Then I understood and I learned that God just wants to love them and want me to love them and to be close to them and then bring God in their daily life.
So you came to Israel really wanting to work amongst the Jewish people. You were put straight to work with the Arab people, so that was a shock for you. Did your heart change towards them quite quickly, or did it take a long time?
No, quite quickly, because they are very friendly. Their hospitality is great. They have a good humor. It was also good that I didn't know Arabic, so they were my teacher. So I was the learner, and it gave them not the feeling that I come to teach them something.
So let's bring the story up to date now. You're married, you and your husband are both working here. What sort of things are you doing? What's an average week for you?
So I still learn Hebrew. And that's important because it's still in the beginning, you can say. Yeah, we are managing to speak, but not very, very deep. Then I'm also organizing trips with Arab women that join the Christmas party. So that's a part of my time to organize like parties, especially for the Arab women. And then I have my contact, like my friends. For example, a Jewish friend is my neighbor upstairs. She's like my mother. She's very open. So all second or third week, she's asking, when do you come again? And then we drink coffee and Yeah.
So you're very, very busy with hospitality yourself, and you're part of a community that uses hospitality and friendship as a very good way of building bridges. You mentioned that you organise Christmas parties for Arab women. Do they like to come to these parties? What sort of things do you organise?
Yeah, they like to come. Actually, we invite our friends that we already know, and we also invite just women on the street that we meet. We distribute little cards. And what we do, or let me say first, we organize the parties with Arab friends together, with the Arab Christian friends that we work together from Life Agape. And we get quite a bit of money for organizing those parties, so we can invite the women into a hotel, to a very nice place with a meal even, and we do singing, or we invite a good singer. Last time it was somebody also played the oud and sang in Arabic, like something they like a lot. Then we play a theater or little drama. Very simple, but very clear, the message of Christmas, because they don't know, or they know it different from the Quran. And then last time we had somebody that shared his testimony that is very famous here in the city. So all the women were very quiet and listening carefully. It was a very clear message. And then our Arab friend, she is like putting it together and made it very clear that Jesus came as the way to God. And then she also prayed for the women. She asked if somebody is sick or has another problem and they should raise hands, or then they could stand up. And many stand up and received prayer, like in general. Also, we distributed then papers with questions about the drama and about the speech, and where they could mention their address, phone, and name. So we have their names and addresses, and we can reach to them again. For example, for the trips, we call all those women and we invite them.
And so then you take them out on nice outings, and you're befriending them, really.
Yes. And we also, it's a possibility, because there on the party came last time 320 women came. So it's too much to reach out to everybody personal. But on the trips, maybe 50 come or so. And it's a whole day. And it's also a goal to see who is open, especially. And it's worth to build on the relationship deeper. Yeah.
It seems, listening to you, that you spend a lot of time, you take your time building trust, building friendship. You know that nothing's going to happen quickly. You've got to build a very strong foundation. Is that true?
Yes, it needs, because the walls are high, or especially on the Jewish side, the mistrust, and like the arguments or the experiences from the past, from the history, what I hear about Jesus is so bad that you need to have a long breath. Yeah. And not to take things personally against you. You need to know who you are in Jesus, and not to start to fight, not to pay back what they serve you.
So you can get into some quite difficult situations then. You can experience quite a bit of hostility sometimes?
Yes, it's possible. Especially, like we have two kind of contacts, like naturally contacts, like to my neighbor now, that she's very open. But sometimes we go on the street and tell people, do you know that God loves you? And then you can hear very different answers. why are you here telling me this? Go back where you came from. This was really an answer. And but when you are then quiet and not pay back again, suddenly the person is turning 180 degrees and get soft because they are not used that they are not used to soft reaction.
You could be having a much more comfortable life back in Switzerland. What keeps you here?
Well, I heard God very clear, calling me, and I know that when I'm in the will of God, I will be on the best place, on the most secure place in having peace, in inner peace, maybe even if outside things aren't going so well. And God gave me also a big family here, the community. So community life is like helping that your feet stand on the ground and that your life is not a religion but a relationship also together. And the people also feel that God isn't a system or only a belief, but a relationship. They can feel and smell the taste, and that's important here, especially here, where there is too much religion.
Katerina, a Swiss-German Christian living and working amongst the Muslim population in the old city of Jerusalem. And you're listening to The Olive Tree with me, Julia Fisher. Having heard Katerina's story, you may be thinking that you'd like to help her in bringing the gospel to the Palestinian people. Well, the Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund is a small charity based in the UK that supports work amongst both Jews and Arabs. If you would like to send a donation or receive our free bi-monthly newsletter, please either visit our website www.olivetreefund.org, where you will also find information, articles and news about our next tour, or write to me, Julia Fisher, at the Olive Tree Reconciliation Fund, PO Box 850, Horsham, RH12 9GA in the UK. Meanwhile, I'll be back at the same time next week for another story from the Olive Tree. Until then, goodbye.